All right, people, how we doing? How we doing? We're good here. We're good here. How's everybody doing out there? We're on day 0, okay? We're on day 0, sex drip. That's what we're working on here, okay? Sex drip. You're like, Ray, what the hell is sex drip? Well, drip means clothing, right? And sex means sex. You got that, right? And so what we're going to really be focusing on is different eras of fashion, okay? And the costume design, how you're going to dress your characters when you're drawing them, how to design, the concepts behind design, behind you know, costume design, graphic design, different materials, how to render them. We're going to be talking about colors. We're going to talk about stuff like classic Chanel, bro. You got to have that classic Chanel. It's timeless. Now, we aren't going to talk so much about fads, or of course we could maybe have a couple of days where we go ultra fad, you know, do like the crazy things. The 80s guys with the mohawks, you know, or the grunge. But we're going to do like streetwear. We're going to do like high fashion. We're going to do all this kind of stuff, and we're going to draw it. That's what we're going to be doing. Now, of course, I got my old standard Sharpies right here. We're good to go. But I also got some Ohuhu. Ohuhu. Look at all these bad boys right there. So I got all those. It's going to make our fashion design, our fashion drawing go by quickly. It's going to help us to render quickly, and that's what it's all about, okay? Now, I already did some, you know, precursors. Here we go. We got some right there. A little bit of the women or whatever. Look like Rihanna or something like that. We got a Christian Louis Vuitton shoe right here. You know, got to go with that. But even in the products, you know, I always loved patent leather. I love the different textures, different feels. Not so much, you know, to have them, but just to be able to mimic them on paper and re-render them and get them exciting. And, you know, there's some really famous fashion artists that we can go ahead and look at. And one of my favorite shows in regards to fashion was the Marvelous Miss Maisel. And that era had tremendous fashion, okay? And in my opinion, really, it's all been downhill since then. They had tremendous fit. They had tremendous prints. They had tremendous colors. It was just fantastic. It was very dazzling. You got to ask yourself, what's the whole purpose? What's the purpose of fashion? Well, it's sex, right? The whole purpose of fashion is sex, to be deemed desirable in one form or another. So that's really the objective behind what we're trying to do. We're trying to stir up that electricity on paper, and we're trying to put that into our character or our, you know, mannequin or whatever we're going to do. And I'm going to show you guys how to do the mannequins. You know, we're gonna abstract shapes. We're gonna generalize it. You don't have to be, you know, like a comic book artist or anything like that. You can do a generalized mannequin. You don't have to put too much detail, because the power and the punch is going to be in the clothing and the costume and the design. And that's kind of what we're going to focus on. Different eras, okay? We're going to focus on different eras. And we're going to get our markers, get your pens, get your pencils. You got color pencils, get them. You got crowns, get them. Because, you know, anything goes when it comes to fashion. You want to use your watercolor? Use your watercolor. You know, do you want to do some collage work? Do some collage work. And when you bundle it together with some of the principles and mechanics of sound drawing and sound design, sound color theory, color balance, you really get some fun stuff, okay? Like, you really get some tertiary colors, and, you know, you start to understand the, remember that rule we talked about a while ago? It was basically the 75%, 20%, 5%. Well, we're going to go ahead and explore that even further, okay, with all of our design work. And we're really going to have a good time doing it, okay? So that's what this whole next 30 days is going to be about. You know, you want to be able to experiment not only on small things, but on big things, you know. Quite often, too, you know, a lot of really good graffiti artists, you know, they're very inspired by fashion, especially in today's day and age. You see a lot of the marriage behind urban artwork and tagging and you know, spray paint and you know, all of that combined with fashion. For some reason, it's all coming together. I don't know. I think it's a coordinated effort, but that's neither here nor there, okay? But we're going to get excited about fashion. One good, interesting thing I'd like to point out is that tomorrow I'm going to have an interview with Matthias Adelson, and he's a tremendous illustrator. He's done tremendous things in his life. He's worked for all kinds of companies, done some really big things, worked on all kinds of cool projects for cool companies, and he does very interesting costuming in his figure work and in his characters. This is his book. We're going to go through it. Not today, but we will go through it. And we'll talk to him about it. And we'll talk to him about his different influences. Look at that. That's fantastic right there. That is just fantastic, right? And so we're going to talk to him about that. It's going to be live tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time, Pacific Standard Time, okay? So that's going to be 11, 12, 1, 2 Eastern Time, and then I think it's like 8 o'clock European time, Central European Time. So we're going to have a good time talking to him. I'm very excited about that, okay? Now, we had a good time yesterday on our dump cooking. If you didn't go see that, go check it out. We made some killer double bowls, okay? We had hamburger with rice, with that stringy mozzarella cheese. It was fantastic. So you got to get after that, okay? Now, of course, I did. I went out there. I hit all the Black Friday sales. I got my little monitor thing. I got to set it all up now and integrate it into my workflow. I thought I was done. Nope. They pulled me back in. I got to get doing it again. You know, more of this computer work. It just seems like it never ends. Once I think I got it battened down, no, it pops up. I got to do something else, and I got to do something else. Then I don't have that. But, you know, it's been fun trying to figure all that out, okay? So I'm very excited about that. Then on Wednesday, we're going to have the Bruvs Unite again. So we're going to have a good time with those guys. Then on Thursday, we're going to go ahead. We're going to talk to some English people about what the fuck is going on in England some more. Different perspectives, different locations, okay? We're going to talk to them. It's very important that we talk about it, especially with England. The reason being is because England is on the forefront, or the bleeding edge of this technical rollout, okay? This technocratic rollout is what's going on. That's what's going on, people. Okay. Now, everybody knows, y'all know I used to be an engineer and all that kind of stuff, and I kind of gave it all up, threw it all away to go ahead and be a traditional artist. And I really wanted to embrace traditional artwork for that very reason, because I wanted the magic to come from me. I saw that other people could do it. I wanted to learn how to do that magic, to take a couple of like pins, you know, take a couple of brushes and put that together and put it on the paper. That was the real incentive for me. I didn't want to get good at clicking mouse buttons, you know, and then have the computer do the work for me, and then be limited by the computer in some capacity at some point. And that's the technocratic rollout, okay? So that's why I really focus on traditional art. And also I believe it's a direct training of your mind in your abstract thought process. And, you know, integrating that with your sensory, you know, like sight, smell, taste, touch, all of your sensory inputs, okay? So that's very exciting. And I'm very excited to talk to Matthias about that, because, you know, he also is a traditional artist, you know? And there's just something special about being able to make one of one. You get what I'm saying? I know that everybody says, hey, it's whatever, cryptocurrency, there can only be one, but that's not true. Everybody knows. If it's digital, it can be copied. Okay, that's plain and simple. There's a way to do it. Maybe I don't know, maybe you don't know, maybe the majority of people don't know, but somewhere in some dark room, in a dark, deep basement underneath the CIA or somewhere, people know how to do it. Okay, and so I really love originals for that purpose. It gives all the control to me, to the artist, to humanity. I create one, you know, piece of artwork. That's it. That's it. There's no duplicating it. That's it right there. Okay, and that's why I love traditional artwork. And so we're going to go ahead. We're going to get into that for the next 30 days. We're going to get into, like I said, like the female fashion. We're going to get into men's fashion. We're going to talk about costuming. These are all huge parts and huge elements of of what we got going on as far as when we create our artwork. You know, everybody's going to have some costuming, okay? You know, you have, like, for example, you got, you know, this one right here. We're chilling in the grays and the blues, and have a little pop of that pink right here at the top, right here on her, you know, on her feather. And then we go ahead and we're gonna explore ways to abstract those shapes and to kind of fuse them together to give new wrinkles. We're gonna look back and we're gonna see how other artists that were fashion artists have done that. And then we're going to push it further and have a good time doing it. And at the end of this 30 days, you're gonna look in your sketchbook and you're gonna say, hey, that's fantastic. I love it. I love it. I love it. And you're going to have so much fun. And no longer, if you've ever been kind of sheepish about drapery or clothing, you won't be anymore. It's easy. I'm going to show you how to do it. It's simple. There's only 7 kinds of folds. We're going to talk about them all. Don't even worry about it. It's going to be fun, okay? Now, if you're thinking about, oh, Ray, I don't know where to get all the stuff or whatever, don't worry. I got all the links. If you need a sketchbook, if you need these Ohuhu markers, or you need these Sharpie markers, you know, you get them on Amazon, right? Go ahead and use my links in the description. Gives me some brownie points or something with Amazon. I'm not quite sure how that works, but they give me a little wink, wink. Good job, good job. And then we can go ahead and they'll get shipped right to your door. Okay, so that's fantastic. And I'm trying to think about anything else before we move on and get the hell out of here, because I'm excited to get started tomorrow. We're going to start tomorrow, and we're going to have a good time with it, okay? And of course, we're going to start off and I'm going to show you the mechanics, the basic mechanics of mannequinization, of drapery and all of that. Then we're going to explode after we get through that. We're going to explode through the different times, like, you know, we'll go through the 60s, 70s, we'll go through the, you know, 80s, 90s, we'll explore some grunge stuff, we'll explore some streetwear, we'll explore all these different things. And then it's up to you if you want to go ahead and take pieces of different parts of the different decades and put them all together right there on your paper and have a whole new thing. And to me, that's what's really exciting about what we're going to do, okay? It's unique in the sense that what we're talking about was we're talking about things that humans use to express themselves, all right? This is going to be how you're going to interpret how you see the culture around you. You know, not so much like we did with the outdoor painting, right? We're just painting the landscape. Now we're going to interpret culture. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be exciting. So I hope you come along for the ride. I hope you have a good time doing it. I know I'm going to have a good time doing it. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. So let's fucking get after it. All right then.